You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. By going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com, you can make this possible. It was a stunning weekend all across America where white domestic terrorists again murdered multiple Americans in El Paso, Texas. 22 people are dead in the shopping mall shooting that took place there. The shooter is facing hate crime as well as capital murder charges. That night in Dayton, Ohio, 9 people gunned down in a bar, most of them African Americans. The shooter in that case is dead. The El Paso white domestic terrorist left a manifesto describing hate for the Mexicans taking over Texas. He drove hours from his home in Allen, Texas to El Paso to commit the crime. Talk about stunning. In Dayton, Ohio, same thing. A white domestic terrorist shoots up a popular bar. Seen there, folks were having lots of fun. Then he opens gunfire with a huge capacity, firing weapons. He was killed as he tried to run into the bar by police. What is going on in this country when it comes to white domestic terrorists? This morning on the Tom Joyner Morning Show, I talked with Congressman Bennie Thompson, chairman of the House Committee on Homeland Security, and he talked about how serious the problem is when it comes to white domestic terrorists.
Well, good morning to you, Roland. Let me tell you, it's real serious. For instance, for a long time in this country, we were led to believe that the most dangerous element in terms of terrorists were Muslim terrorists. One of the reasons is the FBI stopped producing the data. We now, through testimony, as well as on July 23rd, the FBI director said domestic terrorism is the #1 danger in the United States of America.
But stop right there, Congressman, right there. Congressman, he said domestic terrorism. Why won't they call this white domestic terrorism?
Well, you know what the problem is. We have somebody in the White House who's absolutely in denial. He says he's a nationalist. So we have a real problem. What we have more importantly, as you know, is we have a number of deaths that are occurring all over the country. What we had over the weekend is just the explosion of the episodes that have been going on. So what we're trying to do is next week, my committee is going to have a series of hearings in Washington highlighting what's going on in the country. We're going to invite the FBI. We're going to invite the mayors of Dayton and El Paso and other parts of the country to come and talk to us, as well as advocates who want to look at this subject. And let's come up with some real solutions to the problems.
Congressman, everybody keeps saying right now mental illness, but Donald Trump overturned an Obama rule that made it harder for folks with mental illness to get guns. The House passed a universal background bill. Senator Mitch McConnell won't even take it up. I just tweeted this. I said, I have absolutely no confidence that the Republican Party, Trump, the GOP chairwoman, Ronna McDaniel, McConnell, any of these people want to do a damn thing about guns because they are a wholly owned subsidiary of the NRA.
Well, you're absolutely correct. If you look at McConnell's record, he's clearly said he's not going to bring any of those issues up. The Trump administration made it legal for people who are adjudicated mentally ill to buy guns. You know, that is unfortunate in this country. That puts some 80,000 more people out here potentially who can buy guns who have been diagnosed with an issue of mental illness. Apart from that, Roland, we have some other issues out here in terms of the military-style assault weapons being legal, the clips in the guns, the large magazines. All those
100 rounds of the guy who killed largely African Americans in Dayton. I mean, there's no reason why an average citizen should be walking around with weapons that should be reserved for the battlefield.
Oh, no. And you can't say that's a hunter, you leaving your right to bear arms.
No, he was a hunter. He was hunting people.
Absolutely. But the notion is that when you do that, you're denying me my rights. Well, at some point, when the rights infringe on rights of others, government has to step in. So clearly, we're moving, but we're going to hold the hearings. We're going to talk about this issue, and we plan to move it forward. But the real challenge is whether or not this country can demand that the powers to be in Washington do something. We can make those assault weapons illegal. We can say that you can't buy a gun if you have a criminal record. We can do a lot of things that we have not been able to do.
Congressman, can you do this without the Republicans? Can anything be done between now and Election Day beyond voting them out of office can be done to change some of this?
Well, unfortunately, we're going to have to take it to the people. We're going to have to take it to the streets and say, look, if you want to fix this, then you're going to have to put people in office who are willing to do it. We can't get anything over on the Senate side. Simple things that can fix, we can't get it done. So that's why people absolutely need to be focused on next year.
Get fired up.
Let me be as explicit as possible. White people are going to have to take to the streets and demand Republicans step up. That's what's going to have to happen.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when will your committee meet, Congressman?
Well, we're scheduled Wednesday and Thursday of next week in Washington. We will announce it this afternoon publicly, and we want everybody within the sound of our voice to please come to Washington, tune in to the hearing, and you will see all the facts.
All right. Congressman Bennie Thompson, Chair of the Department of Homeland Security, House Committee. We appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, brother.
Now, folks, sister. The shooter wore a mask, a bulletproof vest, and hearing protection when he opened. Folks, in this country, white supremacists commit nearly 3 out of 4 murderous terrorist acts. White supremacist groups in America have jumped 30% in the last 4 years, and the number of hate crimes in America has increased 3 years in a row. Well, also, folks, it was quite chaotic there. The scene in Dayton was very chaotic, as shown on this surveillance video. Fortunately, the shooter, as we said, was killed before he had a chance to do more damage. These are also the pictures of the people who lost their lives that night. This right here is a surveillance video as folks were running out of that bar in Dayton, Ohio, fleeing the gunman. It was, again, quite sad to see that actually take place. Just an unbelievable scene there in Dayton, Ohio, as people were running for their lives. As we said, 9 people shot and killed in Dayton, Ohio, including the sister of the gunman. Now, police have not said whether or not there's any link as to whether he was targeting his, whether he was, again, targeting someone else there. They don't know that. But that was happening there. In El Paso, a shopper in the mall was able to shoot some video that showed just how frightening the situation was at that mass shooting in El Paso.
Man, this shit fucking crazy. I got my fucking gun. Motherfuckers busting guns in Walmart right now. AK, somebody's got shot. Fuck. It's got an AK. Nearly hit my ear. My holler shot, no shot. No shot in my pocket.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. Hey, guys, you've heard me talk a lot about marijuanastock.org. Why? Because I want to keep you informed of investment opportunities that make sense. We've all watched the growth of the cannabis industry. A recent report by New Frontier Data estimates the global cannabis market at over $340 billion. We know that marijuana legalization is sweeping the country state by state. We also know that marijuana has a good cousin, the hemp plant, with a much higher concentration of CBD. That means hemp gives you all of the medical benefits of marijuana without getting you high. Until recently, hemp farming was practically illegal in the United States and heavily regulated by the DEA. However, the 2018 Farm Bill changed all of that, making it legal to grow hemp CBD in the U.S., making it one of the largest commodities worldwide. Folks, they need land to grow all of the plants, and this is where our good friends at 420 Real Estate come in. Their business model is simple. They buy land that supports hemp CBD grow operations and lease it to licensed paying tenants. That's right, they are hemp CBD landlords, and you can get in on the action. Now, my friends at 420 Real Estate decided to do something special for the Roland Martin Unfiltered family. Originally, the minimum investment was $500. But now you can invest in this crowdfunding campaign for as little as $200. That's right, $200 up to $10,000. Again, this is a $340 billion global industry that is still growing, and you can participate with as little as $200. To invest, go to marijuanastock.org. That's marijuanastock.org. Get in the game and do it now. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.